Well, hello, all you beautiful ones. This is SharenD coming to you, and I'm here to answer questions that I've been getting rather frequently lately. And that is, what is the difference in powders, translucent, setting, high definition, and how do you highlight, contour, and apply blush in a manner that's going to be most effective for your face structure. So let's first dive into what is the difference between a setting and a translucent and a high def. And what exactly is baking? So here we go, all you beautiful ones. First of all, translucent powder is a setting powder. Translucent powder is to set your makeup. Anytime you have something that is cream, anytime you're using creams or liquids, like this, for instance, is a color corrector in cream. This is a primer in cream. And then we have your eyeshadow palette correctors, um, primers. Those are all in cream forms. And then if your foundation is cream, or even there are cream powders that dry to a sort of a liquidy finish, all of those need to be set with a powder. And the reason creams and liquids need to be set with a powder is because you want them to stay where where you put them. Yes, indeedy. You want them to stay right where you put them, and you want them to have longevity, meaning you want them to last as long as you need them to last. And by putting on a translucent, you can achieve that effect. Now, I'm just totally in love with this new translucent powder that I've been trying here. It really locks in and just diffuses harsh lines and so forth. But let me show you. It's white in the pan. That's the thing. Is I think that's what turns a lot of people off that haven't kept up with the trends in terms of setting powders and translucent powders. Translucent powder are in the pan is white. It's clear. It's iridescent. But when you put it on the brush, you see I've got a significant amount here on this brush, and then you put it on the skin, you see it is, you don't see anything. See nothing, nothing. And what it does, again, is it locks in your creams, your powders, your liquids in place so that they last and stay the length of time that you need them to be there. Controls oil and just gives you that soft, diffused look. Yes, gorgeous effect. Now, what about high def powders? Now, your high definition powders, they're going to be a little bit different in terms of the feel and the silkiness. High def powders have a kind of a silica. They feel more of a cornstarchy silk feel. And a lot of times they have color to them. And so you would choose something that goes with your skin tone, your skin undertones. Where with the translucent, you don't have to worry about that because it's going to adapt to whatever shade you are. Now, let me just say this, if you are a darker complexion or even medium complexion, if you use too much and you don't blend it out correctly, then you're going to have like an ashy look to it. If you see an ashy look, all you do is just continue to blend, to blend, to blend. As I tell you, if you're not happy, if it's not what you want, all you need to do is blend. Blend, blend, blend is your friend. Blend, blend, blend is absolutely your friend. So, those are the two things we've talked about, setting powders and high def powders, which are still setting powders, but with either a color correct or color additive to give you a different tone or base. Okay. Now, in addition to that, you can have like a brightening translucent that you would use specifically, say, in an area that you want to brighten, like under the eyes or so forth. It would still have that white, clear look to it, but it would also bring a little element of brightening to that area. Those, I would recommend that you get yourself a regular eyeshadow brush. You dip it in and then you do the tap, tap and swirl method. That tap and swirl method gets it right in where you need it. Another quick trick is to look up when you're doing that. Why? Very simply, watch this. When I look up, I put my finger there, and when I look down, you see the finger go down. So by showing you that, what I'm explaining is that when you lift up, you're opening up those areas where your skin may have some creasing and allowing the product to actually get in there. I kind of think I needed to blend a little bit better right over here. Anyway, so what it's doing is it's getting right into those creases under the skin that's going to be going down, instead of just putting them on top, putting the powder on top of it. And then when you open your eye and close your eye, you increase the visibility of those lines and creases. Not what we want. Okay, so let's move on. Color correcting powders, still setting powders. You can have powders that have like lavender, that is going to give you more of a brightening. Lavender is going to cover up your reds and so forth. Then you have yellows, all of those things that you'll see in your regular color correcting compacts. You can get powders to do those exact same things. Still staying in the setting powder arena, but that's what they do. Then, Sharon, the big question, the B. What is this baking stuff? Well, baking, it's thermogenics. Who thought that science really went into our makeup? But yes, it does. Thermogenics basically is you're putting on with a very heavy hand. Not that you're using a lot of powder, but you are dispersing it pretty heavily. And you're going to use that tap swirl method, tap swirl, tap swirl. And you're going to do that all the way across. I'm going to look up so we can get it into the creases. And you're going to just tap and swirl and tap and swirl. You might want to go up over your eyebrows, depending on if you have oily skin in that area. You might want to tap and swirl down into this area if you have the deep, heavier lines. You might want to tap and swirl anywhere that it's oily or where you want to hide something or make it even out. Okay? So, you've got your baking translucent powder sitting there, and you're going to use usually a heavier version of your translucent powder. You're going to leave it there 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on what you feel is necessary for you. After you have done that, but before I go to after, let me tell you what's happening. The whole thermogenics process is that your body is heating up that powder, and your body temperature is making that powder adhere to your skin and stay in the creases, the areas, the skin where you put it. the purpose of that is it's going to control oil. It's going to smooth out those fine lines. It's going to keep what you put there. Yeah, hours later. 12, 14, 16 hours later, or if you're over under cameras, if you're under lights, if you're in a marathon, if you're in a situation in which is extreme, that you need to be able to keep your makeup where you put it. And you know that's what I'm about. Keeping your makeup where you put it. Don't chase your makeup. So if those things apply to you where you have severely oily skin or just oily skin, where you have areas that you're getting fine lines and creases, and there's areas you want to smooth out, or you have long days, baking is for you. Yes, baking is for you, ladies. So then you will take a different brush. You're going to take a big fluffy brush. Usually the powder brush is going to be the one you're going to go with. And after that length of time that you let it sit there and bake, then you are going to swirl it off and get it all off as much as you feel is necessary for you. Okay. I'm not a baker personally, but I see the lovely, lovely after effects that women achieve from doing that, particularly women who have very oily skin and those who have to perform in very harsh situations, such as extreme heat. Now, I tell you guys, I don't generally wear foundation because I have these tsunami hot flashes. But let me tell you that if there is a way to control foundation under extreme hot flashes, baking is it. Yes, indeed. Baking would be the solution for that. Yeah. Okay. So we've gone over translucence and high def and brightening and corrected setting powder and baking. Let me see if I missed anything. So now all we got to talk about is what is the difference between a translucent, a high def, and a finishing. Well, finishing is just that. You have applied your makeup, you have gotten it perfect, you have set it, you have high def, you have baked it. Now you want to finish it. Finishing powders are generally going to be applied with the big fluffy brush. And you're not going to do the tap swirl because you're not trying to get it deep into your pores or lines or anything. You're going to just swoosh it off. Perfect. Swoosh as you go. That is all you do. That's it. So you take your finishing powder, which is usually a very, very thinly fine milled powder that's so silky that it just glides on and you just swoop it off and it's finished. Now, it's not just that simple though. Unfortunately, there are some finishing powders who also have effects along with them. Like this one right here. This has a luminous effect. It has a golden effect. It has an amber effect. And it has a sun-kissed effect. So it's sort of like in, let's say, pictures or something, you're going to put an overlay. Okay? An overlay. Just lays over it and that's it. It's not setting. It's only just adding a little bit of final finishing touches. Now, finishing powder is probably not something that you're going to use every day. It's something that you would use, like, say, we're having family pictures or something like that, or it's Christmas holiday with the job or something big and important. I wouldn't say that that's something you would want to do every day because it does give a real dramatic effect and it's not like a natural, really natural look to it. So some ladies can pull it off, and God bless you and you work it, girl, if you can. But on a day to day, I would say that your finishing powder or your HD would really be the maximum that you need. Now, I want to just tell you some really quick things about, oh, before I go on, the quick and easy way of setting is using a setting spray. Now, all you have to do to understand which one you need and what they do is read the bottle. Goodness gracious, these products tell you so clearly. I lock in and set your makeup, or it'll say I finish you and give you a dewy kiss, or it'll say I'm giving you a light wisp of sunshine. So it's giving you very clearly in the name of the product what it does. If it says it does not lock and set, then it does not lock and set. If it says it's not giving you a dewy shine, then it's not giving you a dewy shine. Now, there are some that have combined those two together so that you get a dewy, locked in set, and finishing and setting all in one. Hybrids, exactly. Hybrids. And look for those if that's what you're wanting. But know this, that if you have dry skin, I would say you want to use a spray because it's going to give you more moisture. If you have oily skin, I'm going to tell you, you need to finish and set, you need to set with powder. Not saying that you don't need to use this, but set with powder and then spray. Oh, I love it. With a setting, but still set with powder. If you're dry, you can probably get away with just this as opposed to using both. Not saying that you don't have to because you can. You can do anything you want, anything that you feel comfortable with. But the oilier your skin, the less you want to move to something that has like a sun-kissed or dewy moisturizing effect with it, because that's just going to add to the oil. Okay. But setting spray, oh my goodness, they just give you such a fresh feeling, even when you're in the middle of the day, when you just want to give your skin a good drink of water, this is the way to go. A lot of them have coconut oil, coconut water, aloe vera, lavender, all kinds of things that are actually refreshing your skin. So, anything like that, how can that possibly be bad, right? So I'm going to quickly give you an overview on shaping 4 ways to apply blush and whether you need blush and how do you work highlighter, blush, and contour together. Here we go. Now the shapes of our face are round, square, rectangle, and heart shape. Oh, and I left out oval, which I would say my face is an oval. It kind of changes as you get older too, though. Okay. So the universal way that works for pretty much everybody would be to take your blush brush, and I'm going to find one that is, oh, where's my angle? Okay, this is an angled brush. This is an angled blush brush. So the universal way of applying blush is starting at the hairline and kind of tap and swirl, tap and swirl, tap and swirl in a downward motion till you get where you can kind of visually see that you've come to the end of where that angle from your nose. And then you wouldn't want to go much further. See there? So right in there, that line to your nose would be about where you want to finish. Okay, not the bottom, but right here. Okay, does that make sense? Does that make sense? So here, to make it more easier to see, yeah, the angle would be at the top part here. So you're going to go from here, tap and swirl, tap and swirl, tap and swirl, tap and swirl, and blend 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 until you're happy. That technique works for pretty much all skin, all shapes of faces, okay? Except if you have an extremely long face. Now, if you have a extremely long face, you want to not start at the apple. You want to start back from the apple, but you want to go up to the hairline, not down as far as to the tip of the nose, the angle of the nose. You want to start just back of the apple and go back. Now, let me tell you, do not smile to make those determinations because your face moves and those landmarks move when you smile. See, even my nose. The nose landmark moves. The apple is different. See, even your smile, all of that is in a different location. So you want to have a resting face and go from there. Now, if you have a long face, even a heart shape, which is considered the perfect shape, if you have a long heart shape, if you have a long oval, and if you have a long rectangular face, then you want to do what I call the swoop arc. The swoop arc. You're going to start about between your hairline and the edge of your brow. And you're going to tap and swirl, tap and swirl, tap and swirl, tap and swirl. And it's going to make an arch. Tap, swirl, tap and swirl. And you're going to make an arch. And what that does is it helps to lift up your face. Okay? Helps to lift your face up. And that's what you want to do when your face is extremely more long than you want it to be. A round face, a very round face, you want to create a outward effect so that it pulls it back some. So you're going to start where the below your apple, below and behind your apple. You're going to start there and you're going to go in a soft little into your hairline, but just above your ears. Just above your ears. Just above your ears. And of course, all of these effects require blending, 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 blending. Blending, 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 blending. So I think that those are some of the major ones that we can work on. Yeah. So the arch, or what I call the swoop, and that's for faces that are very long, faces that are very round. You're going to go up into the hairline, but just above the ear, just above the ear, just above the ear. If you have a universal you can go from starting just a little bit higher and pulling it here. Keep your nose, you're not going to want it to go below that. Okay, that's too low. On top is on top. On top is where you want to be. Okay, so those are just some tricks that you can do. But let me just say this is that work with what you like, experiment, try different things. Rules are not always meant to be followed. When you find something that works for you, you work it because only you know what you feel good in and what you feel best in. If you're trying to hide certain things because you feel that those certain features are unflattering to you, then you do that. But if there are features that you don't have a problem with, that you're comfortable with, that you love, like for instance, I have never been one to do the carving out of my nose to thin my nose. I like my ethnic nose. That's just me. But other women who have much thinner nose do that as religiously. I don't see that it's something I want to do. Now let me just quickly finish up with this though, ladies. Highlight, contour, and blush. Highlight, contour, and blush. How do they work together? They should be a happy marriage. And let me show you with my either a severely angled brush like this one or a fan brush. Your highlights are going to hit the areas where the sun would naturally hit. The top part of your cheek, top part of your eye, a little bit of your nose, a little bit of your cupid's bow, a little bit of your chin. Your contour is going to bring in areas that you want to pull in. So that would be here. That might be here. That might be here. Your blush is going to bring color and light to areas that you just want to bring out. So in the process of that, what you are going to do is you're going to lay those where you want them, and then you are going to blend like crazy and get them to where they are happily married. So that you're blending your highlight at the top, your blush in the center, your contour at the below, and you're making them a beautiful marriage that just makes you shine however you want to shine. So this is SharenD. I hope that this has been of benefit to you, that it gave you a little bit of understanding the difference between translucent, high def, when to bake, when not to bake, finishing, and the marriage between contour, highlighting, and blush. I love sharing these with you, ladies and gentlemen. I am so pleased that I was able to jump on and do this today. And this will only be on my YouTube channel. So I will let those of you who aren't VIP know where you can find it. And I just hope it's been a benefit for you. Leave any comments, suggestions, questions that you have below. And also remember to share, subscribe, like, thumbs up, because guess what? I like that stuff. You guys have a great day. And all of you beautiful ones out there, continue to know that you are the best you can be, inside out and outside in. Bye-bye.